Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How's it going today? You ready? Here's the question of the day. Someone asked me, how much do I need to retire? John was actually his name. I remember the name. God, it's just amazing. Okay, John asked me, it was an email, not a customer. He said, well, I got $500,000. I'm about to retire. I'm thinking within the next 4 or 5 years, and he's almost 60 years old. His wife happened to be 57. I just remembered that, so I included it. And he said, can I retire on $500,000? We went over some estimates in Social Security and everything. He gave them to me. And I said, yeah, sure. I can't tell you, absolutely if you can, but have I done that for customers? Absolutely. So what I did is I essentially took some of John's information in there and we modeled it out. And I want to show you how he's on the border, but how do we fix that? How do we address this here? So what we're going to do, we're going to use our sample here, Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong is a sample customer that we put in inside Nest Egg because, Jazz Wealth right there. So we're referencing Jazz. And I'm going to overview this and I'm going to go over all the geeky details here to kind of show you how we improve the odds of him not running out of money with about $500,000. All right, so Louis is currently 59 and Lucille, his wife in real life there, is 57 or was in real life. And here we go. So we're going to look through their expenses, pre-retirement living expenses. Now, John told me he wanted to live on just about $50,000 total a year. If it could be a few dollars more, that'd be great, but we started off $50,000. So monthly expenses right around $50,000 a year. And that's going to be taxed, by the way, so that's not after tax. All right, looking at the savings, this is very, very close minus the HSA. So we've got Louis in here, 6% going into his 401k, gets a match up to 6%, still does, so that's in there. Lucille puts in 5% of her income and gets a primary match up to 5%. That's it, nothing after that. He's got a Roth here with us at Jazz Wealth, puts in $1,500 a year. He's going to increase it by 2.5% a year, and it's going to stop at his retirement. Lucille's got a Roth. She's putting a more focus there, $5,000 a year, and it's going to stop when Louis retires. That's a key one there. She's not saving until her retirement. They're going to stop when Louis retires. She's increasing it by 3%, and this won't make a large difference here, but they've got an HSA putting in $1,500 a year. Louis will continue that until he retires. All right, moving on. Income. Louis currently makes $75,000 a year. Lucille makes $60,000 a year. We're estimating Social Security. I'll show that in a second. But for now, it's all going to be based on the estimates, and they're working years inside of that. Goals. All right, so John told me, and I'm using Louis, but said about 65. Lucille a couple years before that, so they'll retire together. And they're looking for retirement expenses. I think I just said a minute ago that their retirement expenses were $50,000. That's what their current expenses are. They want to spend $50,000 in retirement, so they're comfortable living off of that. Got some health care costs in there, and they've elected not to go with long-term care insurance. Now, if we look at their total net worth, we could just skip the banking stuff. They got some bank accounts, savings accounts. You could see it if you want. Checking, savings, $1,500, and emergency funds, $1,600 or $16,000. They've got debt, $25,000. It's on one credit card. I'm just overviewing this quick here. Investments, right about $500,000 where they stand now between the Roth, 401k, old 401k, and a couple other accounts inside of that. The taxable account, which they're not really doing a whole lot with at the moment, but they've got about $490,000. This is important because most of you have different types of accounts. So I want to highlight a few interesting things here. All right, so going through, the only other thing they've got is a home mortgage loan, paying $2,280 on the home mortgage loan, 5.5%, not considering a refinance or anything. The property currently worth $350,000, and we've got taxes included in there with their original purchase price and everything. They are in New York. Okay, so if we take a look at that, let's see what their probabilities are of retiring successfully. Currently sitting at 53%. This is their current plan right here off to the right-hand side. It's close, right? Looking like they're going to end with $28,000. They are cutting it close. And when we look at the sort of graphical version of that, if they make it to their life expectancy, they are just cutting it by. They could get there if basically the world works out as an average, right? In almost every scenario, they're going to be just fine. There are some outlier scenarios which are highlighted in the different shades of blue down there, or purple, depending on your screen. And so we don't like that. There's a chance that inflation's more, taxes are more, Social Security's less. All these different things are what we're figuring out here. So we've got to improve this a little bit. Now, when we go over to the analysis, what we're doing is trying to get this over 65%, preferably somewhere near that or anywhere higher would be great. Down here at the bottom, we're going to try a few different things here. All right, so currently I'll put this back to normal. This is everything we just reviewed: incomes, retirement ages, contributions, and we've got different strategies over here. The first thing I want to do is look at Social Security. The current strategy is estimated by the system and just says, you know, we're going to go with whatever we think is kind of best for the moment, unless you put something in there. The optimal strategy makes a little bit of a difference here, and I'll show you that in just a second. That should bump you up a little bit. All right, 56%. What did we do? What was the optimal strategy? Well, if we take a look over here at Social Security, what it's doing is saying your current strategy is in gray. That's what's happening by the system. If we override that and delay Social Security until 70 for both of them, just raw general look, and there's a lot more we can do here, but by doing this, it adds more cash to their pile. It adds more to their net flows on a yearly basis. So for now, they're saying the optimum way to do this is 70. We can tinker with it, but for now, I'm just trying to make some quick adjustments so I can report back to Louis and Lucille and tell them what's going on there. All right, so that helped. That was 56%. It's not great there. You know, we'll see what happens there, but that's where we're going with that. Now, there was a little debt, right? So this is what we're going to model inside the debt. You may have seen a previous video we did on Louis Armstrong's debt. He only has that credit card. And you remember from a previous video, we said you've got extra money, right? They still have extra money at the end of every month here. So what we can do is we can say make an additional $100 payment to your debt, right? This blue over here is what their debt plan would look like. The green is if we make an extra $100 payment to this credit card with a 19% interest rate, and at the same time, we're calling it a refinance, but what we're doing is moving to a 2-year 0 APR credit card. So we're going to take that hit, we're going to shift everything over there, the 25 grand, so he's going to be paying 0% interest for 2 years. If we can pay an extra $100, we'll knock it out before he pays any interest. That saves him a ton of money, right? He's going to pay it off a lot sooner too, rather than just paying the same $382 every month that he's been paying. So now what we want to do is say, okay, that's our plan for the debt. Does the debt strategy, changing it to my proposal, help him out in any way? Maybe a point or two? What are we going to... Wow, okay, there we go. Okay, so the reason that changes a lot is because now they've got extra cash to save in their taxable accounts, which the system saves any liquid cash. It just saves it in your savings there. So they've got extra taxable income there. I like that. Okay, so we're up to 64%. Now if we look at the graph, all right, not bad. We don't get to death or proposed death with next to no money. We've got a little extra money there, a respectable amount of money, and we're able to weather through some of the outlier events. See how that darker shaded blue? We don't run out of money until maybe in the early 87, 86 age there. We're doing a little bit better, but we still got some problems to work through here. Next thing I want to look at is the way we take out money. You've heard me say this numerous times, that the way you withdraw your money from these accounts makes all the difference in the world. You don't just blindly start taking, remember, he needs $50,000 a year. We don't just start taking $50,000 from whatever account we want to. We got to strategize there too. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the distributions area, and we're going to see how that money's coming out. Right now, here's the current distribution relative to the tax rates. And what we're doing is, let's just say that we go with the system. Right, we just go with the normal way that's kind of automated in the system here. This is what his distributions looks like and his tax rates. What we want to know is, what if we do it like this? We withdraw from taxable accounts first. Then we go to our IRAs and pre-tax accounts. Then we go to the Roth. The problem is we end up with less money. We don't have room to do things like that. So no matter what he wants to leave to kids or charities and things, we don't really have room to do that just yet. Next thing we're going to do is say, let's simulate if we do taxable first, because remember, now he's saving taxable money by paying off that debt early. Does that help? No, it's better than spreading it, but not right now. It doesn't work. Taxable accounts first, then the Roths, then the pre-tax accounts. Still not good. We're better off just spreading it evenly. All right, next we're going to look at taxable and the pro rata, which just basically means taxable accounts first, then when we deplete those, then we're going to go evenly between the tax-deferred, pre-tax accounts, and our Roth accounts there. This accounts for $23,000 more. So I'm thinking that's the strategy for now. Let's check tax-deferred, and then from there, nope, that's the worst. So we don't want to take from pre-tax accounts first. And I know this is a simple way of looking at it, but you can actually highlight where the cash comes from in here, something we review in our classes. So don't assume this is just kind of oversimplified. I'm just trying to make a quick video. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, all right, Louis, look, we're trying to pinch every penny here. What we're going to do is when you start taking out money, it's going to come from all your liquid cash first, then your pre-tax, then your tax-free accounts together, right? What that'll look like is, here we go. We're going to go down here. We're going to say retirement age. Whoops, there we go. All right, so we've got the details of the plan here. Income from taxable accounts. That is almost able to make up their income at the retirement ages there. Now you see when they run out of money in their liquid savings, then we go over to tax deferred and then we go to Roth, right? So we're just slowly eating that $50,000 up, which is adjusted for inflation and everything along the way. That's the method of taking money out of the account. So now what I want to do is see how that changes your success rates. I'm just going briefly through this. Don't think it's really this simple in real life. Okay, so distribution strategy. What we're going to do is say, let's use that proposal that we just came up with, all right? So we'll go in here, see what happens. How we doing? 64%. Stays 64%, but we've got more money. Did you notice it go up there? That's good. That may be the best that we're going to get here, actually, but let's see what we can do. So confidence level. All right, so we're doing better. Now the somewhat outlier events push us up to 89. We end our end of life here with extra money. I'm actually kind of happy with that. If we were planning for that, I wouldn't be stressed about that at all. You know why? Think of what this is doing. This is accounting for you spending the same amount every single year. We're here in Florida, and so we have a lot of retirees as customers. I can testify right here in front of you that retirees do not spend the same amount of money every year. It just doesn't happen. I don't know how else you want to say it, but you tend to spend more money in the front part of your retirement, but you spend less as you age. And that makes sense. You don't want to go places as much. You don't have as much to do. You're kind of fine just hanging out and having memories instead of having things. It's very normal. That happens to every one of my retirees here, and I get to watch it in real time with us. But the problem with the system here is if we go to the current, or we're going to use the proposed plan, sorry. If we go into the system, it's going to say that you're spending the same amount every year. We can fudge it and make it to where you spend less as you age. But if I look at the income flows, once this loads here, there you go. It's going to assume that you're spending the same amount. That's just not going to happen. I promise you. It's just not how it works in real life. So I'm actually okay with where they stand because I know their income they won't be spending that much the rest of their life. We could now move on to taxes, try to find ways for them to save taxes there. Remember, they also have the ability to relocate. They've got some equity in their home. I don't know if they want to move or anything, but they don't owe more on their home. They're making consistent payments there. So there's a chance we could put in a relocation where they take some of the equity, move to something smaller, a condo in Florida maybe, or I don't know. There's things that we can do there. So I'm okay with that in general. Also, if you've seen previous videos, Louis Armstrong isn't invested quite the way he could be. We could make an adjustment there in his investment. So we could even take it further to say, hey, you're a little bit out of whack here. You've got a lot in bonds. If you've ever seen me review his portfolio, he's got a lot in bonds. He didn't know that. He's got a lot going on there. We could take some of that money and then we could, maybe take a little bit of risk with some of it, go for more consistent growth in the rest. So if we say in this asset allocation, if right now it's saying just use what he has in his accounts, what if we say, just take a moderate approach? We're going to go some growth, we're going to go some aggressive and things like that. Let's see if that makes any difference. Actually, he was set to growth, so we got to go to growth. Let's say that we take his account, we go to growth. Growth, by the way, is not the most aggressive in the mix there. You could see the break, there. You can see the breakdown. When we say growth, we're not talking about as aggressive as possible. So 70-30 split. It gives them a little bit of a boost there, naturally, because of the increased return. So something in this ballpark, I'm open to having a conversation and saying, there's some changes we can make. Now notice, not once did I say, Louis, you're going to have to retire later. Louis, you're going to have to put more money away. Louis, you're going to have to save more in your accounts with me, right? That's the easy answer. That's what all financial advisors say is put more money away. It stresses you out. Tell them to do their job. Look inside of their software or whatever they're using and go, hey, fix it. See what you can do. Get me fine-tuned so that then if I have to put a few dollars away, it's a little bit less, right? He could save a little bit more money. Watch the impact here. Let's see, where can we save this money? Let's say in the Roth, by the end of a year, after he pays off the debt, let's just say he goes another $1,000, right? After the debt proposal in here. So that we're going to sort of fudge this a little bit. 67, right? Anything over 65 I'm happy with, so we're just getting a little bit better. But if we didn't do all of this, watch the effect of not doing any of this. We use the current strategy, screw the debt, nobody's going to pay attention to your distribution method, and all the advisor's saying is put $2,500 more away. Currently has a 53% chance up here. What happens if we didn't pay any attention to that stuff and just put another $1,000 away? It doesn't even help. Look at how barely he has any money. So the advisor is going to say, you need to max out your Roth IRA. He's over 50, so let's go 7,000. Lucille, oh, you need to give us some more money, right? Help us out here. You want to see these numbers go up. You just know other advisors say that. I'm getting frustrated. And it doesn't even help. So you're saving money, and we can quantify the fact that it's just not even helping you. So we've got to take a deeper look into some of this stuff. I know some of you don't find this exciting, but as you get older, if you think all I have is 500,000, someone's got to make it work for you. There are so many little things that I just showed you that adjust how you get to keep some of your money, pay less taxes, right? How you choose to take Social Security despite what you may see online, and how you spend your money. That's probably one of the biggest things that I would take away from this is people don't spend money linearly through retirement. It just doesn't happen. I say what you want, but that's where we're at there. So can you retire with only $500,000 at age 65? There's a fly in here. Yeah, you certainly can. It's not going to be luxurious. It's not going to be, you're going to be worried about market fluctuations. You're going to want to really be fine-tuned into your withdrawal strategy and your investment strategy, but can you do it? Absolutely, and we just showed you one way to go about it with Louis Armstrong. Do you like these kind of videos? Do you like when we go deeper with things like this? I could talk about this stuff all day long, but if it helps you, I'll keep focusing on things like this, like we do with our customers here. And if it did help you, maybe you'll hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate when you do that, and I wish you a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.